So for this painting, I'm doing a picture of my car. I have a 69 MGB that's sitting in the garage right now, and decided to do a painting of it just to mix things up a little bit. Um, and then, so I originally did a sketch, kind of hard to see on there. And then that sketch, I took and cut it out, traced it, cut out half, and then cut that out. And then so I just drew one side and then flipped it over, drew the other side, kind of like what we learned when we were in school. So I'm just gonna, for my initial wash, I'm going to lay down what would be the chrome. Here's the reference material, the photograph I took of the car in the garage, and then I'll put in a little bit more blues and some reflections of the pavement for the chrome that's being reflected, and then in the corners I'll probably do something pretty dark. I do want the car to kind of disappear to where it's similar to being in the garage, but not actually at least not in that garage. Take out some of the clutter in the background. So that's what I'm going to do for now. So for now, basically, it'll just be whatever, the chrome, but I'll paint the whole thing, and then paint the green over and paint the black over. So there'll be a lot of negative painting on this one. So gonna get started.
Hey, real quick while I have you here, if you're getting value from the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel and it lets me know that I'm helping you grow as an artist. Now back to the video.
All right, so moving into the video, I've got a mixture of a few different paints. I've got phthalo blue red shade and phthalo turquoise. I use phthalo turquoise from Winsor & Newton because it's a single pigment, and I tried to get as many single pigments as possible. And then the phthalo blue red shade, and then I've got quinacridone gold deep and nickel azo yellow. And the quinacridone gold deep and nickel azo make some manufacturers use those two to make quinacridone gold, because I guess there was a shortage for a while, and so some of the manufacturers changed their formulation. And then the violet that I put down, even though I have dioxazine purple on my palette, I more than likely did not use it. I probably used a mixture of phthalo turquoise and quinacridone magenta. I really like staining colors. I like that they don't lift. I guess I like the challenge of the permanence of it. I've been experimenting with gouache lately. I've done a little bit of white gouache on this, but I got a whole assortment of colors in gouache, and man, they really re-wet. So I've just gotten really used to the staining quality of a lot of my paints, because when I put them down, I just want them to stay down. So here I'm doing some cutting around the negative shape around the driver's side of the car, hitting the mirror, fender, now getting that windshield in place. The plate says Tortuga, that's Spanish for slow. Slow turtle, that is. It's not a very fast car, but it does get a lot of attention. I really enjoy it. I haven't had a classic for probably 30 years, and they are a bit of a headache, as you can tell by the patina and a few dents in the front. It's not in perfect shape, but I decided if I ever did get a classic car again, I don't want what's called a trailer queen. I don't want a car that I'm worried about if I drive it to the grocery store. And like I said, I get people that really light up for it, because you can tell it's original, and it's also very tiny. So I don't really drive it during busy times of the day. So now I'm going in. I made a little bit of an orange, and I've got violet. I like the triad of orange, violet, and green. I think they make some great, taking those secondary colors and letting them play around. So going in, just adding in some shadow, trying to darken it up. This obviously isn't very painterly other than the background. For it being splattered, I didn't, I guess I just kind of got caught up in the moment. I wasn't trying to really do much. I was just getting into it. And I find that when I'm painting and I paint things as they are, I'm being hesitant with my creativity, and I don't particularly like that. So I then do some psychology. Why am I being rigid on my painting? Why am I doing the painting this way and not letting the paint have letting it have more soft edges? I mean, the passenger side of the car, the left side of the painting, is definitely a hard edge, and then it's pretty much a lost edge on the other side as well. But sometimes you've just got to do some stuff that just takes your mind off of things. Having something really straightforward can be a relief, and sometimes approaching a blank piece of paper with no intention is one of the most liberating things. You do something spontaneous, and that's where the magic is. Those magic, unrehearsed moments where you go into a meditative state. I really have grown to appreciate those, and I find that as I'm doing different paintings and videos, and I find that I get it less often. So sometimes I just go out and paint. I will have an upcoming video of some plein air painting, and I do plan on using this car. Car's name is Jimmy. I found Jimmy on the day that Jimmy Buffett died, and I was thinking of names, and I was like, Jimmy. So I went with that. I also thought maybe if I gave it the typical girl's name, I'd be Jenny and put peas and carrots on the on the license plate, but I don't have plates for it yet. But anyway, back to plein air painting. I did some plein air painting about a year ago, and I'll talk more in depth about this in the actual video. But I was pressured to do it because it was for a magazine contest, and I was like, all right, what's their contest this month? I'm going to do it no matter what. And it said you can submit up to 3 paintings, plein air. And I was like, oh man. And I was just getting comfortable with just studio painting and things like that. And I said, well, it's a challenge. I'm going to take it. And I think because I felt compelled to do it, I was kind of forced to do it. I did it and didn't like it. And then recently I thought I need a change. I need something, to get therapy, to be challenged, but also something a little therapeutic. And I put together a plein air kit, went out, and I was going to paint a church, but then when I actually was there in the moment seeing the light, I had the church behind me, and I painted a little street scene, and really just got a lot of joy out of that. And then brought it back home and did a little touch up, and was again playing with the gouache paints that I have. And the gouache is a totally different battle. It doesn't, it's called opaque watercolor, but when you put down yellow, it becomes very dark yellow because it's just so concentrated. So if you do get gouache, definitely get the name brand, and think about if you want it to re-wet. Like, I don't like the re-wetting quality, so I'm going to get some acrylic gouache, which is a little bit of acrylic binder added to it, so it still has that opacity, but then as you put on subsequent layers, it doesn't lift that up. Again, I'm comfortable with permanence, getting past that. So I think that as far as painting plein air, I'll stick with watercolor in the beginning, and then I need to learn more about the medium of gouache and finding that sweet spot. And I think what I'll do with that is practice painting with just gouache and see what it does well versus what it doesn't do well. And getting close to the end here, here's the gouache. So I started off with the Winsor & Newton kit, and only the blue and the green are truly opaque. The other ones are semi-opaque. I didn't care for the yellow, but I do I got another yellow. So that's called spectrum yellow, I think, or mixing yellow. And I wasn't very crazy about it. Here I'm showing where I'm painting the license plate, and then I've got what it looked like, kind of looked like before. You'll see on the bumper, there's chrome. It's not very accurate depiction of chrome because I painted it kind of as if it were outside and catching some, orange light on the top, and then a little bit of that red violet down below. Here I am. I don't usually use this small of a brush, and that little brush actually has become part of my gouache kit. So I'll be sharing a lot about the gouache, and I hope that if you have any questions, please ask. I'm learning as I go. I was introduced to gouache in 1989 when I went to school for graphic design, and I was just like, what is this stuff? I didn't care for it then, and we got reunited 30 years later, and I'm still not a big fan, but I'm more up for the challenge now. So I'm going to give it a go and see what I can accomplish. And so I've got that little flower, porcelain flower with that all in there, just throwing in some highlights here and there. And the other thing with this car is once I get the plates on it here probably in August, I'll start going out early in the morning, and I might just set up a plein air kit on the trunk and just drive, find a place. Walking is the best way, I think, for plein air. You get to see things as you walk, the tree relationship to your building. You can kind of see better as you're walking along. And I think that then I have a bicycle set up to carry my plein air stuff. That works great. And then a convertible. I mean, one of the worst things to be in is in a car with not good visibility. So I think this will be fun for doing plein air painting. But I hope you enjoyed just this little conversation about Jimmy Carr, who's also one of my favorite comedians. But if you don't like vulgarity, don't watch him. So that's a wrap for this. I'll talk to you on the next video. Thanks for tuning in, and please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great week, and paint until you're tired of painting. Thanks.